May edition, Special Olympics Rhode Island Magazine. My name is Henry Moretti. Joining me today is the CEO and President of Special Olympics Rhode Island, Dennis Jesus. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Henry.
It's always a pleasure to have you on our show in May.
Good to be back.
Dennis, can you begin by telling our viewers when and where the State Summer Games will be held?
Yes, Summer Games 2019 will be held at URI again, May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd. We expect over 1,400 athletes to attend, a weekend of athletic competition, social interaction, health screenings. There's something for everyone at Summer Games.
And it's great how everybody comes to there, and this year the anniversary of the torch will be of the bicycle thing and everything.
Oh, we got a full range of activities from
incredible.
Friday morning right through Sunday afternoon.
Yep. I understand there'll be some changes to opening ceremonies this year. Where and when will be held?
Well, there are going to be a lot of changes down at URI this summer. They're putting in a new bicycle path, which means we have to relocate Olympic Village. We're moving Olympic Village way out by the soccer fields. They're putting in a brand new artificial turf field on the football field at URI. So we're taking our opening ceremonies and we're putting them on the soccer field at URI with lights. So it's going to be a whole different look this time around.
Yeah, I played soccer many a time. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it's on the men's soccer field. I think it seats about 1,000, 1,200 people. So hopefully there'll be seats for everyone. And if there's one thing we do very, very well at Special Olympics, we adapt.
We adapt.
So we're very flexible.
We are flexible.
And with the changes we're having down at URI, we're going to make it a great weekend for our athletes.
You and the helmet in a committee that will do very well.
Yes, I'm putting everything on Richard Rushlow and Chris Hopkins to make sure it goes smoothly.
Can you tell me about the concert that will be taking place immediately after opening ceremonies?
So we wanted to do something special this year, coming off of the 50th anniversary last year when we moved inside and we did everything in the Ryan Center. We still want to bring in a little bit of music, a concert, and we've hired a band out of Boston, and they're called Sugar. And I heard them perform more than once, and they are extremely talented group of musicians, great singers, and they really get the crowd going. So I think the athletes are going to thoroughly enjoy Sugar, and they're going to play on Friday night after our opening ceremonies.
That'll be great. And where and when will the torch run be held there?
So the torch run again will be Friday, and will be throughout the entire state of Rhode Island. We have many legs. We have an East Bay leg, which starts at East Providence. We have a Westerly leg. We have one in Woonsocket. We have one in Smithfield. The ones in the northern part of the state, they meet at the State House around 1:30 p.m. And hopefully Governor Raimondo will come out and bring her greetings and congratulate the torch run police, fire, and correction officers. And then the torch makes its way down to URI through all the communities along the way. And then the torch, will be brought into the soccer field to light the cauldron to signify the opening of Summer Games. I think it's definitely the highlight of the weekend is when the Torch of Hope is carried into the stadium and then the cauldron is lit to signify the opening of Summer Games and really signifies the Olympic movement.
That would be great. How do the Special Olympics Rhode Island staff responsibilities for the State Summer Games differ from the roles of the Games Management Team?
So Games Management Team is a group of about 40 individuals, and they start meeting as early as January in planning and executing how we're going to run State Summer Games. And they work very, very, very closely with our staff. During the day, from, I would say, February right through June, our staff is putting hours and hours into Summer Games, making sure all of the athlete medical forms are in, making sure the volunteers are lined up, reaching out to corporate volunteers, reaching out to individual volunteers. We have close to 2,000 to 3,000 volunteers show up at Summer Games, and it's needed because of all the activities going on down there. So the staff is really working on athletes, on volunteers, and then the Games Management Team is really working on the implementation of the actual games, the logistics, how are we going to lay out URI, where are we going to put the softball throw, where are we going to put the soccer, where are we going to put the new Olympic Village. There is a lot that goes into it, and we're very, very fortunate.
You got to be flexible. You got to think about the other open parts of the fields.
You know, and we're very, very fortunate that we work with a great team down at URI as well. That URI administration is great to work with. They are hands-on, always ready to meet to make sure that all of our needs are met. So between the staff at URI, our staff here at Special Olympics Rhode Island, but I got to give a lot of credit to Richard Rushlow and the Games Management Committee for all the work that they do on a volunteer basis, making sure this entire weekend comes together.
It's going to be a great weekend, and I hope the weather cooperates like it did last year.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Yeah. If anyone has questions about these events or sponsorship opportunities for State Summer Games, who should they contact?
I'm glad you brought up sponsorship opportunities. You know, some of our some of our coaches don't realize that when we go to URI, there's a fee involved. We have to pay for the dormitories, we have to pay for the food, we have to pay for maintenance, lifeguards, and the list goes on and on and on. The entire Summer Games weekend is about a $150,000 weekend. So we start as early as January reaching out to our corporate sponsors, individual sponsors, but there's always a need for new sponsors and new people who want to rally around our great athletes. So I urge any business owners, any individuals, foundations, anyone out in our audience who wants to make a contribution, we're ready to accept it. And that's something that I really head up, corporate contributions, major gifts. And I always say this, Henry, no gift is too small. No. $50, $100, $500, $1,000. We have some gifts as high as $10,000. And in order to raise the money to bring about and to successfully implement Summer Games, we need a great deal of sponsors.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We hope the best of luck to in your endeavors and getting everything ready for the State Summer Games at URI with your committee. And hope to see you again on Special Olympics Rhode Island Magazine.
May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd, URI. We want to invite our entire audience to come down.
There.
That's right.
To be there. And we hope you come back again here on Special Olympics Rhode Island Magazine.
Thanks, Henry.
Back with more Special Olympics Magazine at these exciting messages.
A sense of purpose, responsibility, self-respect, connections, pride in a job well done. Mike is inspired by his work for many reasons, and thanks to the programs of Special Olympics, he's an inspiration to many people. Special Olympics Rhode Island, inspiration for life.
Welcome back to Special Olympics Rhode Island Magazine. Hi, I'm Michael Bullock. Joining me now is Phil Vanes, the coordinator of the annual Torch Run motorcycle run. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, a pleasure to have you. How long have you been involved with Special Olympics Rhode Island, and what roles you have had?
Well, this will be my 20th anniversary. I started the motorcycle run in 1999. Prior to that, I believe it was 93, I was asked to give out awards to the athletes, and I just continued from then and started. This was a small motorcycle run when I first started it in 99. It was probably about 50 bikes, and at this point we've had up to 1,000 motorcycles.
Wow, that's gotta amaze you with how long this has been going on.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky and pretty fortunate with the sponsors and everybody that turns out. They're continuing every year after year with the same sponsors, and I see more and more people getting involved. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah. Can you explain what the Torch Run motorcycle run is and where and when it is taking place?
Okay, this year it's on June 1st. It's leaving from 181 Putnam Ave, which we've been leaving there for the last 5 years or more. It's the old Greco collision in Johnston. Once again, that's 181 Putnam Ave in Johnston. What we do is we have T-shirts made up. They're $30 per rider and passenger for the shirt. It has all sponsors' names on the back, and with that admission, you get free hot dogs, hamburgers, water. There's pizza and calzones that are always from the original Italian bakery in Johnston. It really is a good time prior to leaving. We usually leave about 7 o'clock. We have music playing in the parking lot, so we encourage people to get there early, have something to eat, meet some of the athletes, obviously get a T-shirt, and come join the fun.
Yeah, the athletes, they always get excited when they see the motorcycles come down to URI.
Yeah, we really love that part of it. Hopefully this year, once again, we're gonna have some athlete T-shirts made up, and I do have some T-shirts from last year. And what we encourage is for them to buy an extra T-shirt. These are at a lower price, and hand them out to the athletes when you get there because they really love them.
Yeah. I understand this year marks the 20th anniversary of the motorcycle run. How has it grown since it first started in 1999, and how are you celebrating this milestone?
Well, like I said, it started at about 50 bikes, and now it's gone up to, we've had up to 1,000 bikes. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. On the route that we take, we see, every year we see people on the overpasses waving flags to us, people on the side of the road with their cheers, just like it's a parade. They're sitting outside waiting for us every year, so it keeps growing and growing.
Can you tell me what the route is?
Okay, we start on, like I said, 181 Putnam Pike in Putnam Ave in Johnston. We go to 295 heading south, to 95 south, to Route 4, to 102, to Route 2, then to 138 into URI.
Boy, that's a pretty long route, and hopefully you get some nice weather for this.
Yes, it's also it's police escorted. We had about 12 police bikes last year, which shut off all the intersections and all the on ramps and off ramps. So it's pretty smooth sailing all the way.
Yeah. How can people register, and what is the cost?
Okay, once again, it's $30 a T-shirt. We advise you get there early on the day, June 1st. We usually set up around 4 o'clock. We're there at 4. Like I said, we leave at 7. However, you can contact Special Olympics, and they can direct you to get T-shirts if you can't make it that day. There's always ways to get T-shirts, because I know a lot of people like to collect the T-shirts. So if you can't make it, contact Special Olympics Rhode Island, and we'll find a way to get you a T-shirt.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure everybody's going to want one of those T-shirts.
Well, this year, like I said, it being the 20th anniversary, it's a nice send-off. It'll be nice.
What can riders expect when they get to URI?
Well, usually what we do is we all get off our bikes. The athletes are waiting for us, and like I said, if you don't buy an extra T-shirt, they're going to take the T-shirt off you. They love the T-shirts. So we're hoping this year that we can plan something whereas if you do purchase one of the athlete T-shirts, and weather permitting, we'll have some music outside, and we're going to have the athletes dance with each person who hands them a T-shirt. So we're trying to organize something like that this year.
Yeah, I just love seeing the smiles on their faces when they see the bikers get off their bikes and then get one of those T-shirts from the bikers, and then just having a good time and taking pictures with them.
Oh, it really is fantastic, and the athletes they love it. We love it. I mean, I've seen the biggest, burliest guys break down in tears, and just by giving a T-shirt and getting a hug.
How can people sponsor this event?
You can contact me, which will have a flyer that shows my number, or you can contact Special Olympics Rhode Island, talk to Tracy Garabedian. We are trying to get all the sponsors in by the end of May. The end of April. The end of April, we would like to get all the sponsors in. Therefore, it gives us time to make up the T-shirts and get everything going.
If anyone has questions about the motorcycle run, who should they contact?
Like I said, they can contact me or Special Olympics Rhode Island, and they'll have all information for it.
Well, on behalf of all the athletes, we want to thank you for your continued support of the great athletes of Special Olympics Rhode Island, and I thank you for coming on and looking forward to seeing those motorcycles at URI.
All right, I thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
We will be right back after these messages.
A love of nutrition, sharing, teaching, creativity, a genuine concern for the health of others. Many things inspire Megan to be a nutritionist for her fellow Special Olympics athletes. It's just one way she gives back to the organization that inspired her. Special Olympics Rhode Island. Inspiration for life.
Hi, welcome back to Special Olympics Rhode Island Magazine. My name is Megan Miller, and joining me today is Richard Rocheville, Director of Special Olympics Rhode Island Games Management Team. Welcome to the show.
Oh, nice to see you, Megan.
Same
Nice
to
to see you
you.
again.
Richard, earlier in the show, Dennis DeJesus provided us with information on the torch run, opening ceremonies, and the concert. Now, let's discuss the rest of the State Summer Games weekend. But first, can you explain what your role entails as the Director of State Summer Games Management Team?
I sure can. As director of the Games Management Team, I facilitate and lead up a team of about 60 great volunteers, individuals that help us manage and put on the games down at URI. A subset of that group is the planning committee, which actually helps us plan the games each year, helps us take the feedback that we get from coaches, from athletes, from our own games management team, from parents. And from all of that feedback, we prioritize and we look at that feedback and say, what is it that we can do to make the games better for the athletes? Because it's all about the games are for the athletes. And then this planning committee, we look at all that feedback, we prioritize it, we say what's the most important, what will give us the biggest impact to changing the games for the better, or continuing to do something that we're already doing well, because you don't want to change something that we're already doing well. So, and then action plans go into place. How do we now make those changes? It just doesn't happen. For instance, sometimes we need a carpenter to build something. Sometimes we need to work with URI to change the venue. So with that, that's how the games get changed each year, either to remain the same for stuff we're doing well or for stuff that's challenging us to make it better. Now, a note to that is the athlete feedback and how important that is. We ask every athlete to please provide us with feedback on the games, how they enjoyed the games. And last year, we changed the format. We have something called the Athlete Leadership Council that gives us feedback about how the athletes are thinking and feeling about certain things. In the past, we had always used questionnaires at the dance. Well, the athletes said, you know what? We just want to go to the dance and have a good time. We want
Right.
to dance and have fun.
Right.
So we said, you know what? Last year we said no questionnaires at the dance, but we enlisted Chris Lucia, who's our athlete, the representative on the games management team, to get his team, as well as members of the athlete leadership team, to go out and just interview athletes down at URI over the weekend with 3 simple questions. And I'll ask every athlete this year, we're not going to bother you at the dance. Go have fun. It's going to be a great dance. But when one of these representatives of the Leadership Council or Chris Lucia's team comes up to you, please provide the feedback and answer the 3 simple questions. And that's how the games get changed. The athlete feedback is most important to me because the games are about and for the athletes.
Indeed. And how long does it take to organize and prepare for state summer games?
Well, as soon as the games are over, we start thinking about the next year. We start looking at the feedback right away, because if you wait, you lose something, because you can think about it right away and say, oh yeah, I remember that happening. But in honest, the meetings actually start in late November, December, right through to June, and we meet every 3 to 4 weeks, the planning committee, and towards the end of that time frame, the entire games management team comes together to make sure that we're all in sync, all the venue directors know what they're going to be doing, what changes are going to be in place, And so that's the time frame that every year. Personally, I think about it year round. I talk to athletes all the time about summer games. And I say, what do you think about them? So I just can't stop thinking about it.
And can you describe the competition schedule for the weekend?
I sure can. So as you know, my favorite event of the whole weekend, the Motor Activities Training Program, starts on Friday morning of the weekend every year, MATP. It's where I started approximately 30 years ago, and I still go to that event every year, and I love it. And then Friday afternoon, we have track, and we have field events. And then Friday night, right after the events end, we start getting ready for opening ceremonies. And, you know, that's, as Denny had mentioned earlier, that's kind of the highlight of the weekend, when the flame of hope comes into the stadium to light and start the games and light up the cauldron. And then Saturday, we have a full spectrum of athletic events. We have field and track. We have the field events. We have swim. There's some cycling time trials. There's some powerlifting weigh-ins. And then Saturday night, you know what happens Saturday night?
The dance, yes.
The dance. And then we also have the motorcycle run, who comes in Saturday night. And by the way, it's the 20th anniversary this year.
Wow.
So it's a 20th anniversary, so we want to try and do something special for the 20th anniversary motorcycle run. And then Sunday, we have the finals of the swim, the cycling, and the powerlifting, followed by our ever-popular family, athlete, and volunteer cookout over in Olympic Town.
Wonderful.
And that wraps up the whole weekend.
Tell us about the events that would take place in Olympic Village at the State Summer Games.
Again, this year we're going to try and plan, in years past, again from athlete feedback, athletes said, why can't we have some events on Friday in Olympic Town? So last year we began to have events on Friday for those athletes who come down with their teams who aren't really competing on Friday. So now they have something to do on Friday afternoon. So we're going to have some events on Friday afternoon, but the bulk of Olympic Town is really scheduled for Saturday.
Yeah.
I know Denny mentioned something about the change in the campus, and Olympic Town is going to be in a different location this year, but we're still going to have all the events we've had before. We're going to have Zumba, yoga, and no, I'm not doing Zumba or yoga, folks. But we're going to have Zumba, yoga, we're going to have dance, we're going to have potting the plants, we're going to have the Hasbro, the large toys, we're going to have the games tent, we're going to have music and dancing in Olympic Town. All the things that we've always had before, they're going to be there, except Olympic Town is going to be in a different location.
Okay.
And then last year, we also implemented a mini Olympic Town. I know we have some swimmers here, and swimmers have always told us that they're busy on Saturday, so they can't get to Olympic Town.
Yeah.
So we put a mini Olympic Town outside of the swim area where the swimmers could get massages. Last year, we actually had hairdressers come and braid the swimmers' hair. We had some other things out there, some games. So we're going to do that again this year for
Good.
the swimmers.
Good.
So it'll be right outside where the clerking is done for swimming.
Good, good, good. And is there anything different about the campus we need to know for this year?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So for those of you who are familiar with the campus, if you remember where Olympic Town and all the team tents were, it was that space between the Boss Ice Arena and the baseball field. That whole area is not available to us this year. So all of that area will be behind the soccer fields, the varsity and the practice soccer fields. Actually, where we used to play soccer years ago when Henry Moretti was a younger man and played soccer. But in the back, that's where all the team tents are going to be. We're going to have more signage. We're going to have people on campus being there as guest services. So if you're looking or anybody's looking for something and you don't know where it is, there should be some maps up in various areas on the campus, and we're going to have people who are out there who will help guide you there. Opening ceremonies is normally in the football stadium. Well, they're doing the football stadium over with AstroTurf. So instead of being down there, we're going to have it in the varsity soccer field.
Oh.
There's lights, there's stands there, and I know Denny mentioned it as well. And instead of bringing all the athletes, checking them all in up by outside of the football field, we're going to bring everybody to the practice football field, which is at the very end behind Keeney's Hall, and that's where we'll bring them into the soccer field from there. So there are some changes. We'll be there. We'll be signage. We'll be helping out. So those are the two biggest changes right there.
I see. And I understand Athlete Leadership Council is more involved with helping Chris Lucier gather athlete input and even help come up with the voting choices for the theme of closing ceremonies dance this year. What is the theme going to be?
Well, I wish Chris Lucier was here so he could announce it because he's very enthused about this. He's our, as I mentioned, our athlete representative. But the theme of the dance is neon.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
well, I can't really explain it, but it's a lot of colorful stuff. It's a lot of
Yeah.
camaraderie and partnering, and like I said, we're going to try and link that with the motorcycle run, which is its 20th anniversary. But the Athlete Leadership Council, we've met several times. We had them put together suggestions, and we put the top 3 out to vote, and it came back that the athletes wanted neon as the theme for the dance. What do you
Cool.
think about that?
I'm excited.
How would you define neon?
Well, I know glow sticks have neon colors in them. I know there's certain glow-in-the-dark type shirts and stuff that you can get with
Oh,
neon
yeah,
colors
yeah,
on
yeah,
them.
good
So
idea.
there's plenty of things that you can do with neon, and I can't
Oh,
wait
great.
to see everybody.
Yeah,
It'll
so
be
it's going to be a
wonderful.
colorful dance, I'm
Yes.
sure.
And if someone is interested in volunteering, who should they contact?
Well, for the state summer games, we bring down a lot of volunteers from our corporate sponsors. And so I would ask anybody who's looking to volunteer as an independent person who's not part of those corporate sponsors to wait until after May 1st, then go on the Special Olympics website, and there should be information there as to where we need volunteers, what days. Normally it's Saturday and Sunday, because normally Friday is pretty full with volunteers. But again, after May 1st, and then you would contact the office and tell them when you would volunteer, for how long, and at what time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was nice
Oh, it
to
was
see
my
you.
pleasure. I always love talking about the games.
Take care.
Take care.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome back to Special Olympics Run magazine. I am Mary Irons, and I want to share with you some upcoming events in May and June that we hope you can join us at. On May 5th, the Northern Area Games and Unified Volleyball Tournament will be held at Bryant University. The Unified Champion Schools High School State Basketball Tournament will also be held on May 5th at LaSalle Academy. On May 31st, the members of the law enforcement went for Special Olympics Rhode Island will be carrying the flame of hope through your town to create awareness for the state summer games. Help us to celebrate 35 years of Guardians of the Flame. Our annual state summer games will be held on May 31st, June 1 and 2 at the University of Rhode Island on Saturday, June 1st. We hope to celebrate 20 years of annual motorcycle run with bikers riding from Johnston to URI. The Torch Run Charity Golf Tournament will be held on Monday, June 17 at Crestwood Country Club to benefit Special Olympics Rhode Island. For more information about the upcoming event, please contact the Special Olympics Rhode Island office at 401-349-4900 or visit our website at specialolympicsrhodeisland.org. Thank you for joining us. See you next month for another edition of Special Olympics Rhode Island magazine.